Well, the lads were keen to get out on the water early this year, but were dealt a bad brand card when we got a cold front and we're Brian snowed. And our plan is to go Mike fishing for Mike Trout and Joe Montana were Tommy biffled. So the John Cruz loaded up the Colt Ford and Jacob wheelered south. When we finally got to the Jimmy Houston Lake, Hank parkered the truck and fired up the old 20-horse Chris and Corey Johnson. I Keith combed through my box and settled on a Hank Williams wobbler. Tyler Tonied it on and began to Bill dance it on bottom. The day really started to roll in Martin though when we started to flip pallet in the lilies on the Matt Leeward side of the Kevin Van Dam. I knew we were in the mark zone when I spotted a Roy Hawk and a Skylar Hamilton above a Matthew Heron hammering on a school of cliff perch. Right then, my buddy, who happens to be a Scott Rook, set the hook on a clump of weeds and caught me with the end of his rod right in the John Cox and Scott Canterbury's. I'm doubled right over in pain, and Bill, lo and behold, I have a Bass J.P. DeRose out from some forest wood, and Drew Benton's my rod. So I'm fighting this big old 10-pounder when sure enough, what happens? Yep, my buddy knocks over a Timmy Horton and spills it right on my leg. Well, I was just let out a Randy Howell, big old boy here, get right ticked at him. And he says to me, "What are you gonna do, Bob Asumi?" I mean, to be Todd Faircloth, he had a point. So I'm Gerald swindling in this bass, and it wraps himself around Casey Ashley, Larry Nixon my line, and broke off. And I was Jim Shockey with the rest of you, but we all know we're at the Dave Mercer of these fish burns. So as the sun's setting, I have a Boyd Duckett fly over my head, and I'm tempted to grab the old Stephen Browning and give him a double-aught Defoe upside the head one time. I guess that's what happens when you're a hunter that likes to fish. Anyways, we pulled the boat out after a few more fish, and it occurred to me that that might have been the best day on the water I'd Edwin Evers had.